Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Jim Ryan. My friends, we see everything down for the day. The biggest downer, Bitcoin, 2.14%. We'll get there in just a minute. As we look at the Heikin Ashi candlesticks at the top of the chart, we can see that last week's high was 424.63. This week's high, 425.46. So not even a dollar up on a $425 plus stock. Look at what's happening to the price percent oscillator. It's actually pulling away from the red signal line, heading down, and the derivative oscillator is losing momentum. As we zoom into the candle, this is where you can see the candle is topping at about the same spot. Candlestick itself, candle body, about the same spot it did last week. Wick is a little higher. It also has a wick below. And again, that is the largest low wick we've only seen one previously in the last 4 weeks. That was back on the week ending the 4th of June. A little bitty wick at the bottom I do see. One here and a much smaller candle body. So that's part of the reasoning as we get a little further down in time. You'll also see more of it. Look at this 2-day chart now. The last 2-day candle ended on Tuesday. This is the first day of this latest 2-day candle. And of course, you can see lots of down movement, a solid red spinning top. And the price percent oscillator looked like it might be trying to cross over. And then what did it do? It ditched it, didn't do it, and fell away. And we see the derivative oscillator also losing momentum first day of this latest 2-day candle. Look at the half-day chart. It had been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then just hammered down at the end of the day. So we have a crossover going down on the half-day chart. We'll go ahead. That's not much of a trend. That's a little better there. I don't like connecting them to positive candles, but for the time being, we'll do that. And again, as we see things accelerating on that down move, we've talked about the divergence. As the market keeps trying to go higher, the price percent oscillator is having none of it, nor is the derivative oscillator on our big chart. What does that divergence tell you? It tells you there's a devolution in the acceleration of price movement, that it's dying. And that is what we've seen. Again, this is the summertime trading zone, not a lot of volume typically, so a lot of crazy things can happen, but that's what we see happening now, down 0.56% for the day. Let's go to the Qs, the Nasdaq. What do we see going on there? Well, we've got a nice big green up candle for the week, but not enough energy to cross over going up. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum, but still negative itself. Now, the 2-day, it did cross over going up back on the 2-day candle ending Monday, the 7th of June, up for 6 nice days. But this latest one, red open box spinning top, that's showing us a slowdown in the up movement. Price percent oscillator also losing some energy. Derivative oscillator still moving up a little bit. And that's just the first day of the latest 2-day candle. What do we see on that half day? Again, at the end of the day, we see it crossing over, going down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. We can see a big spike in that wick on the bottom of the first day of this latest 2-day candle, penetrating the 2-day trend line. I'm sorry, did I say that was the half-day candle penetrating the 2-day trend line? That happened at the end of the day. Can we connect anything there? Maybe a little bit there. There we go. So that is where we are. Stocks, again, losing some energy. We can see it happening on the 2-day chart and on that weekly chart, just the lack of energy to push that price percent oscillator over. So again, we see that divergence also, particularly on that weekly chart on the Nasdaq 100. Let's leave the Nasdaq down 0.37%, go to bonds down 0.09%. Price percent oscillator losing a little bit of energy. Derivative oscillator still moving up. Haven't reached a higher high for this week. We can see that comparing the candles. And again, We're seeing weakness for the day there. Now, as we explore a little deeper, that's where we see where things peaked back on the 2-day candle ending Friday the 11th. That represented Thursday the 10th, Friday the 11th, slowing down on the Monday, Tuesday 2-day candle. In this Wednesday, almost a doji, lots of indecision, price percent oscillator, not quite flat, derivative oscillator losing momentum for the first time in quite a while. So again, slowing down on bonds. Look at the half-day chart. You know, it crossed over going down back on the morning of Tuesday, the 15th of June. And then, of course, lost some of that downward momentum in the afternoon, popped up on Wednesday morning, and then started losing some of that energy. Wednesday afternoon, price percent oscillator heading down, derivative oscillator heading down. So again, we'll continue to chart this, see where it leads us as far as bonds losing some of that energy. Again, still confirmed up, and the 2-day still confirmed up. So we'll continue to watch, see how bonds shake it out. Back to the weekly chart, on to gold. Gold hammering down 1.69%. And of course, as we look at gold on this weekly chart, we can see where the price percent oscillator heading down, still positive, derivative oscillator positive, but losing momentum. Go to the 2-day chart. And of course, this 2-day, we have a confirmed down move. Can't really draw with the new candle yet because it hasn't finished forming. First, you don't use it. Second, if you do try to use it, you'll find that your trend line moves during the day because the candle itself is moving and the charts don't keep up with that, or at least the trend line doesn't keep up with the movement. We see the price percent oscillator spiking over, heading down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Again, gold really hammering off that beautiful run-up that it had previously. We look at the half-day chart, not too much in the morning, but hammering down in the afternoon, spiking over, hockey stick down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. That's where we are on our 4 big charts, and it's okay with that crossover. Maybe it's going to take gold all the way down, or of course, what we can be hopeful of is gold will bottom out, settle out somewhere before that weekly crosses over going down. We'll have a 2-day recross going up and can jump in for another beautiful up move in gold. Maybe that'll happen. What about Bitcoin? Down 2.14% for the day. This week is trying to form a little green up candle with a small wick on the bottom, about the width of the candle body itself, which is tiny, and a wick maybe 3 times that on top. Again, not much of a wick, but a wick. We see the price percent oscillator losing a little bit of downward momentum, but still heading down. That's the price percent oscillator losing a little bit of that downward momentum, as is the derivative oscillator. Go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? Well, we see a green up candle trying to form. This is Heiken Ashi, even though it's down for the day. It is showing you what the Heiken Ashi puts down as the average pace, but as you explore it, what do you see? You see a higher high in the previous 2-day candle. The candle body's a little higher, but the topping is not higher. High is 40.2177, 48.0745, the previous one. So again, hasn't crossed over going up. Derivative oscillator is positive. We'll see how this candle wraps up. Of course, on Thursday, half-day chart shows you where things topped out on Monday afternoon, and then rolling down Tuesday, gaining downward momentum Wednesday. Price percent oscillator is flat, still positive. Derivative oscillator losing momentum, still green, but losing momentum on that half day. So again, still have that weight of the downward push on Bitcoin. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day. If you don't have our book, you need it. You need it. We have an autographed copy waiting for you. Charting Your Way to Wealth. Also appreciate all of our Patreon supporters. We'll be getting out to you this evening the 20 weekly vertical crossovers. We're looking for 10 up and 10 down. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.